Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mahr's Product of the Month. For this month, we're going to be introducing you to the MarCal 16 EWR-V Universal Digital Caliper. Again, welcome, everyone. I'm George Schuetz, Director of Precision Gages out of Providence, Rhode Island. And if you have any questions during the presentation, use the chat feature and I will respond to your question after the webinar by email. Or you can simply email me or phone me at the numbers listed here. Today we're going to learn about MarCal 16 EWR-V Universal Digital Caliper. The Universal Digital Caliper Kit, what it is, its features, why we need it, some of its technical data. We'll look at some accessories and applications and see what special value it is being the product of the month. Mahr offers a full suite of hand tools, digital calipers, depth gauges, digital indicators, and digital micrometers. They're all modern and feature-packed, high quality, and meant to be used on the shop floor. Prices are lower or at the same price of our major competitors, and I think we're the leader in low cost and transparent wireless data transfer. We have the lowest cost receiver, and with our free MarCal wireless integrated software, we offer great value for data collection. So we can summarize our complete line of hand tools with 185 innovative products. 68 of them are integrated wireless. And again, this ranges from digital calipers, starting at $111. We have digital depth gauges that are both wired and integrated wireless. We have some depth gauge kits. We have a full range of digital indicators with 9 integrated wireless versions, Mahr Connect versions with wired cables. We have high resolution digital indicators, and we have specialty indicators designed specifically for board gauge applications. And now, most recently was our new line of micrometers, 28 standard mics with large, big displays, integrated versions, wired versions. We have mic kits. We have 8 with speed drive mechanisms to make changing sizes faster and easier than ever. And of course, we have specialty mics with interchangeable contacts, ceramic, carbide tips, and so forth, all value priced. Today, we're going to be focusing on the MarCal digital caliper product line. And as you can see, we have our basic entry 16ER, which is our standard 6-inch caliper. And then that's taken into our version with wired Mahr Connect. Our EWR-I version offers integrated wireless, and that comes in a number of different sizes. We have the wired version of the 16 EWR. These are IP67 calipers meant to be really used in the harsh environments of the shop floor. We have the 16 EWR-V, which is a caliper with interchangeable contacts, which is the caliper of the month. And then we have a whole range of specialty calipers with different jaw orientations for doing keyways and IDs and ODs, wall thickness, etc. And with our 18 EWR, these are the large calipers for extremely large parts. But today, our focus is going to be on the 16 EWR-V. This comes in 2 versions, a wired version and the RI, or the wireless version. These are all IP67 IP rating with reference. These are kits. They come with interchangeable contacts, and they allow for measuring a range of 0 to 8 inches or 0 to 200 millimeters. So let's take a look at some of the features of the 16 EWR-V. Well, first of all, this is the wired version of the caliper. It comes with Mahr Connect, which allows the user to select the type of output that they want to use via the cable that they purchase. So you can use it with our standard USB cable. We have an RS-232C cable or a Digimatic cable. Also, there is an add-on wireless module if that was the way that customer wanted to go. These all have high contrast digital displays with 8.5 millimeter digits. They have extremely long battery life. This caliper comes with the rectangular two-step depth rod. All our calipers have the reference built in where you just turn it on, it remembers where its last setting was. You don't have to zero it every time you use it. We have a locking feature. It's IP67. This has the interchangeable contacts, and this caliper is made to international standards. Now let's take a specific look at some of these features. The first one, of course, is a reference system. You know, with lots of the older style calipers, every time somebody turned it on, they had to move the jaws to its closed position, setting to 0, and now we can start taking measurements. With the reference system, the 0 is remembered and built in. So once you set 0 once, you can turn it off, turn it back on, and it'll still remember that last or 0 setting. Or you can turn it on by just moving the slide. It'll automatically sense that the slide is moved, turn itself on, and you can continue measuring without having to re-zero the caliper. All the EWR calipers are IP67 protected. This means that they're dust tight and they can take temporary immersion in water. So ideal for the shop floor. You can be sprayed with coolant, can be used in dusty metal chip environments, and the gauge will still continue to work flawlessly in those types of environments. We also have a locking feature. You know, sometimes people use calipers and they'll accidentally hit the 0 push button. They may not realize that. And what they've done is they've built an offset or a bias into the measurement, and they're really not measuring the part correctly. Well, with the locking feature, you can lock out the zeroing function, again, because the caliper remembers where the 0 was. You set that once, it always remembers it, and now you can lock out those features so that there's no accidental operator error by re-zeroing. All MarCal calipers come with extremely long battery life. Again, using the reference system, and this is the wired version, you can get battery life of up to 3 years with this specific calipers, much longer than some of the other calipers that are out there. This is because it will turn itself automatically off if it's not being used. It senses itself when moved to be turned on, and therefore the battery life is extremely long for this type of caliper. Mahr builds the quality into each of its calipers. All the slides are lapped on the guideways so that it guarantees an even and sensitive run of the slide. This is one of those calipers that you want to pick up, move the slide back and forth, and you can get a sense of the quality that's built into this caliper. And because they lap to each other, they really don't get worse from use, they get better. They lap themselves in even better, and the longer you use them, the more smooth the caliper is apt to feel. So I think you can feel the superior quality of the MarCal 16 EWR-V. Like I said, this version of the caliper is the wired version. Again, by selecting the cable, the user can determine what type of output they want to use. They can use our USB interface with MarCal software to automatically send the data to where you want, or we can use it with third-party products using the RS-232 interface or the Digimatic interface going to other data collection systems, allowing for more adaptability of this product into other people's applications. Now, what types of measurements can you make with a 16 EWR-V? Well, like with all standard calipers, you can make very simple outside measurements. That's what calipers are meant to do. You put the part between the jaws, you set your reference at the beginning there, and now you can make a measurement of that diameter. All these calipers also come with inside jaws, so you can make this, set the reference again, and now make direct ID measurements with the smaller inside diameter jaws. All these calipers also have a depth rod on them, and you can now use the end as a reference and use the rod to measure the depth of a blind hole, for example, or catch on a ledge. Different ways of measuring the depth of a product. And you can also use a step function. You can see that we can use the end of the caliper as resting as a reference position, and then use the sensitive jaw to catch on an edge, and now you can measure this length. So lots of different standard ways of using a digital caliper. But the 16 EWR-V is more than a standard caliper. And these are some of the different types of accessories that come into the standard configuration. When you order this number, you'll get all these standard accessories for these types of applications. The first is you get a depth measuring bridge. This allows you to span a larger area than the normal width of the reference slide of the caliper. So if you want to span a larger hole and measure the depth of that, you have this accessory to do that. We also give you a setting gauge for the inside measurements. Now, because we are using different jaws or different contacts for the jaws to measure IDs, you need to have a reference to set the inside diameter. So we provide a standard at 50 millimeters so that you can set your reference, and now you can put that offset into the caliper and now make your direct readings based on that 50 millimeter reference. We also provide a measuring force device that allows you to set a fixed gauging force of the caliper. So this ensures repeatability of the measuring system. You know, people have different forces that they deem as normal. You know, my thumb pressure might be different than somebody else's. And if that often causes variation in measuring the same part by different people. But this little accessory allows you to set the gauging pressure to ensure that every time a part is being measured, you're always using the same force and therefore getting better repeatability as part of that measuring process. Again, these are all standard accessories in the kit. But the unique thing about the 16 EWR-V is the jaws themselves. They have holes in them which you can attach different anvils for making different measuring tasks. And one of those tasks might be measuring OD groove measurements, where you need to get into a small land. Could be a groove or could be some other feature on a part. And we provide 3 different anvils for outside measurement. And basically, the difference is the diameter of a 3.5 millimeter diameter, one of these anvils. We offer one for smaller grooves, which is 1.5 millimeters. And we also have a blade type version, so that if you need to get it into a different type of recess, the blade will allow you to do that. So now you can have 3 different contacts for measuring various groove measurements. We also provide a set of OD groove measurements, as, again, the same concept. Now you can see that with the OD groove ones, that these have a flat contact on them, so that we're getting the diameter on the radius. We're measuring a flat on a radius. This should have said ID groove measurements, and these are inside a diameter. These have a radius on them, so that now we're going radius to radius, and now we can measure this true diameter. Again, for different types of applications, we have the standard radius, we have a small diameter radius, and we have the blade type. So again, for different types of applications, we can use these to get that diameter. And this would be a perfect example of when you would need the setting gauge. You would put the contacts onto the caliper, get your setting gauge out, bring the caliper over to the setting gauge, and set your 50 millimeter width of that. And now you can transfer that measurement to the parts that you want to make. So you got standard accessories for bridges and setting masters, you got OD grooves, and you have ID grooves for versatility of the 16 EWR-V. We also have some additional accessories. These are things that you can buy separately. We also have little anvils for doing inside measurements, but at a different depth. So maybe you can't get the standard jaw size into that small recess that you need. We provide some jaws that allow you to get into that. So this is another accessory. We also have accessories for doing ball type contacts. So if you need to do threads or pitch diameter types of things, you can buy the contacts that will allow you to do that. So measuring ID grooves, OD grooves, small lands, threads, small IDs, these are things that you can do with the very versatile universal digital caliper 16 EWR-V. Like I said, the 16 EWR-V comes with its data collection capabilities. This is the wired version, and you still can use this for doing your documentation of measuring parts, process control, use it for process improvement, and you can help with Mahr's unique serial number identification, bring that part and that measurement all together in one place. Again, these are all compatible with MarCal Professional 5.3 software. It's free, it's downloadable interface that you can get from the Mahr.com website. It can be used with the integrated wireless products or the wired products. Again, allowing for data to be collected from the caliper, transferred seamlessly into other software collection devices. Like I said, this is part of the whole collection of Mahr features of wireless product, additional wired or cable technology going into third-party software, Microsoft, or other data collection systems. We continue to increase the capabilities of MarCom and its features using serial numbers is our latest addition. We can control the collection of the measurement by MarCom, so we can collect data either by switch, by a keyboard control or a foot switch externally if needed. And we can control some of the features within some of the calipers with the MarCal software. Again, you can identify a code number for the caliper and assign that as part of the data collection process and tag that information together. So it allows us to send information about ID numbers, the data collected, and tie that together in third-party software, really tying together the whole measuring process into one efficient data collection system. So this allows us to make MarCal easier to use. We can use MarCal to lock some of the features so that operators can't change some of the parameters. And all these things, all this information can be done with MarCal and the USB cable. You can even provide, we often even provide the software so that third-party systems can monitor the output through the USB cable. And like I said, we can put that information all together, the serial number, the part number, we can collect date and time, again, tying together all the data transfer information and put that into an Excel table or the third-party software. Plus, if we make a mistake during data collection, MarCal allows you to erase that last entry and then start that measuring process again. I think the most important thing to remember is that the 16 EWR-V is the Mahr May product of the month. It's at special pricing. You get the whole kit as described here. You get the caliper, you get the accessories we talked about, the depth gauge, the setting master, and if you order as product of the month, you get a Mahr mug to go along so you can enjoy your coffee as you're making your measurements. Great value. It's a great opportunity to take this universal caliper and put it to work for you. So I think today we've discussed a lot of things. We've learned what the MarCal 16 EWR-V is, some of its features, its accessories, applications you can use it for. We saw that this is a wired measuring system, but with add-on technology, it can be wireless. I think it's the caliper of choice for universal measuring capabilities, and you can use it at the point of manufacture because it's an IP67 device, and again, because it is the May product of the month, it's a extremely great value. So why Mahr? Mahr has a broad range of products for industrial metrology. We're open. We have the application competence here to support you. We have wired or wireless hand tube portfolio to help you reach the needs of Industry 4.0. You're always offering promotional prices on high quality products to achieve the best value. And if you have any questions about this, you can feel free to ask me, but you're going to get a link to this recording in case you want to pass it along and a PDF of the product of the month data sheet. So thank you again for your attendance. If you have questions, I will respond to them, and I look forward to talking to you next month for the June product of the month.